My name's Carl Rettinger. I've been coming to Vintage Grace for about 7 or 8 years.
Tom Agricola, I've been coming for about 11 years.
Lee Stacy, I've been coming to Vintage Grace for 8 years.
So I've known Carl since right before I asked my wife to marry me. So that was probably 15 years ago. Lee, probably around the same time. When I first met Sophie, and I knew she was a Christian, I loved her and I didn't care. I was just gonna, go to church and just be there at least. Then I started meeting all my new friends, and these guys were awesome.
As the years went, we could see Tom transforming, and it took 15 years. He's been going to life group for probably 6-7 years, and 3 years ago, he's like, I have some questions about this Bible. And our life group changed that night. He sat there and was just flipping through question after question after question, and it was a magical night.
One day in church, I had no reason. I was just sitting there and listening, and all of a sudden I just was overwhelmed with this, almost like a despair feeling. It was really weird. I can't explain it. And I was tearing up for what I thought was no reason at all. I'm thinking, you know what? I can't do this by myself. And it hit me hard. And that same day, who's there at the end of the service but Carl?
That morning, one of my sons was like, you know what, let's go to VG in Placerville today. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we show up and it was great. And afterwards went outside and was just standing out on the patio, and Tom walked out wide-eyed like he had just seen a ghost, and was like, what are you doing here? Like, what's going on right now? And told me the story of just how he just had this overwhelming sense of conviction, the presence of God, these things that he was just trying to, I guess, struggling to figure out how to articulate. And I was like, that's awesome. That's God. That's how he works.
You're praying and you're watching, right? If you're there and you're giving it to Jesus and you're watching, you will be loving that person where they're at. You will be walking alongside them wherever they're at. And that action of just giving it to God, it really puts you in a place where I feel like I was walking in Tom's shoes in a lot of those questions, because I have the same questions, right? Or I've had the same questions. I came to Jesus later in life. And so be willing to realize that you don't need to be some sort of seminary graduate to walk somebody through their relationship with Jesus and getting to know Jesus.
As I have walked with Jesus, I really have just internalized the, God, what are you inviting me into today? And I think about just these different ways that throughout 15 years for Tom, interacting with people who love Jesus, they were able to, demonstrate and show their love for Christ in practical ways and through their words, through their actions. For me, it isn't so much like my work in praying for Tom on a daily basis as much as the body of Christ praying for opportunities to be Christ to the people around them.